Wow, 2020 took a turn for the worse. I started off the new year in Chicago. I sat down with this guy and recorded the first episode of the 0+1 podcast. Flew back to Minneapolis. My friends and I headed up north to go shred at Lutsen. Met some Canadians and had a really good time. Flew to Denver for a snowboard trip, then drove to Frisco to shoot another episode of Cribs. Flew back to Minnesota, went out to the bars one night, and ended up on the mic for some karaoke. Flew to Nashville, tried a bunch of whiskey, more whiskey, and made some new friends. The night ended like this. Woke up and had some hot chicken at a Hetty B's. Flew back home, raced the wiener dogs, and watched a ski journey event. Made my first TikTok.
Do you use TikTok, bro?
I don't even know how to TikTok. What is this? Went to my first wild game.
Let's go wild!
Then COVID hit. Took the first ride on the lake. Played a joke with my mom. Love you, Mom. Went up north exploring and hiking in the woods. A tree almost crushed my mom.
Whoa!
Recorded another episode of the podcast. One last game of badminton before I left town. This guy turned 2 and he learned how to eat ice cream cake.
You warming your hand up in your mouth?
You just pick it up with your mouth. Don't use your hand, just use your mouth.
Did some deep water soloing in 30-degree water. Brr, it was cold. Went sucker fishing, got the V-Dub out of storage, and headed back to the cities. I was craving adventure, so I loaded up the Honda and headed out west. I stopped at the Corn Palace, explored the Badlands in South Dakota, kept driving and stopped at Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse. Finally, I made it to Utah. I did lots of mountain biking and also fell a bunch. Went camping, hiked some waterfalls, went skiing, made a friend from Wisconsin, and went rock climbing. Went fly fishing for the first time, got lost in Arches National Park, survived, did some boondocking, woke up, and biked some slick rock, and finished the day at Canyonlands National Park. Flew home, hung out with the fam, went surfing with the nephew for the first time, sold my car. I miss you. Went climbing with some friends, flew back to Utah, caught some more fish, and finished the night with a crawfish fry. Hiked through a burnt down forest and found a gorgeous lake high in the Alpines, lots of tiger trout. Drove to Vegas to visit my grandma, saw the 7 Magic Mountains, and then came across some longhorn sheep grazing in the park. Drove back to Utah. Saw my first forest fire up close. Pioneer Day was cool. Then Nick and Jamin arrived. We hiked this waterfall, free-dove some hot springs, and explored these lava tubes. We began the drive back and stopped at Grand Teton National Park, did some hiking, saw 3 bull moose. So cool. Drove to Yellowstone that night, camped. The next morning rushed to the ER in Big Sky, Montana. Got healthy. Made it back to Yellowstone to watch Old Faithful blow. Continued on to Mount Rushmore. We crashed for the night. Woke up and hiked the highest point in South Dakota, Black Elk Peak. We explored this lookout tower. Finally made it back home to the cities. Reunited with the fam. Jumped out of the plane for the first time. Floated down the river with the bros. Drove to a quarry to do some cliff jumping. Got my permit and bought a motorcycle. Rolled up to a car meet. Went up to the North Shore to see the fall leaves. Climbed this tower. The view was beautiful. All the colors. Jumped in Lake Superior to get some energy for the drive back home. And did a photo shoot for American Eagle. Just kidding. I got a call one night to help a cow give birth. A dream come true. Headed back to the North Shore for round 2. Explored this cave. More fall leaves. Jumped in Lake Superior as always. Went home to visit the parents and bow hunt with the pops. Found a secret waterfall up north. Made a jingle.
Milk, shake, fries, and a cake.
Built my mom this giant canvas and got a good laugh. Celebrated the new year with a close group of friends. 2021, I'm ready to go.